All right. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's Two-Stroke Tuesday, but it's also Taco Tuesday. So let's dive into some tacos first. So this time I went to a new place that it's pretty new. I haven't even eaten there yet. It's called Guaco Taco, and when I noticed it was first opened up, it was just on the little corner of that shopping plaza, and it looked pretty plain. This time when I drove up, I noticed, hey, they have a bar in there, and the more I looked around, it was they have like the 19th hole and hole-in-one section or something on the outside. I was like, what the hell? It's a Guaco Taco, right? Then it snapped to. It's like, well, about 3 miles down the road, there's a golf course, and it's one I used to play quite a bit. So I guess they're trying to get the golf crowd in there to have drinks after they play. But the place looks pretty good, so let's take a look at their tacos. Alright, so took it out of the to-go bag. There we go. So these are, I wanted the crispy shells, but looks like they fry them in there themselves. Looks like there's plenty of meat on there. They didn't skimp on the filling. What else? Plenty of cheese, some lettuce in there. Kind of surprised there's no tomatoes. But they did include, of course, their red sauce, which pretty good. You can taste the cilantro in this. And what else? What is this? Is that extra meat? That's interesting. And the sides, looks like it's refried beans of some type. I need some chips to go with this, don't I? I think I have some. Cool. Oh, that's bean dip, that's right. And glad I have some chips. I'll eat that on the side. And this is like a spicy, like a Mexican coleslaw kind of thing. And yeah, it even smells like coleslaw. So first, let's check out the tacos here. One is supposed to be beef, one chicken, and one a combo. So I'm just going to dive in. All right. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. Alright, well, I'm going to chow down. Then we'll get started on the project. And just a quick note, the more I was diving into this and the flavors of it, this is more of like a Southwest or maybe Baja style Mexican food. It's definitely not Tex-Mex. I'm used to Tex-Mex. I'm here in Texas and I like my stuff really spicy. But this is decent. It's a good change, have every once in a while. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to polish this off and get back to work. Today's two-stroke is a Echo. Let's see. What model is this? Here we go. The PE-200. So, it is... This thing is lopsided, isn't it? It's all twisted around, but you can see it's the edger. Just a straight edger, no attachments, no nothing. It's just, that is what it is, right? See there. And it's all lopsided, and we can adjust that over here. But the main thing, we want to try to get it started, and it's obvious that we have to work on the carburetor. So the bulb is all cracked off. You can see the grommet down here is all split up, and probably these fuel lines, yeah, that's pretty stiff. I bet that's going to crack when I take it off. So that's the main thing I'm going to do. We'll take off the carburetor, clean it out, put new fuel lines and a bulb, and then we'll tweak it here and there. Adjusting this is no problem. Just loosen up the shaft here and rotate that around until it's a little better balanced. And hopefully it'll crank right up. I haven't checked anything on it. I did pull on it, and it does have good compression. So that's it. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this around and see if we can balance this out. It's bugging me every time I'm trying to work on it this way. It's just rolling all over the place. So let's just loosen this up and see if we can't rotate it around. There we go. Something like that. Okay, it still rolls over. But I think that's because just all the weight's on this side. You see the end of it there? But at least it's lined up the way it should be. That was always bugging me. Yeah, much better when you're holding it. So we can take all this off. Might as well just go straight for the carburetor. Filter's not bad. Comes off easy. Let's go ahead and pull this out. There we go. Yeah, that's all cracked up, and just remember where the fuel lines are going. You can see where the input, which is, you know, coming through the filter and everything, is on this side, and the feed returns on this side. So, man, let's pop this out. There we go. All right. I think move this over. And drop everything in there. I'm going to clean it off a bit before I take it apart. I'll go ahead and take this side off because we're going to have to replace the bulb. A lot of times these, if the fuel lines are bad but the grommet's good, you can see you can just pull those out and just replace the fuel lines on it. But in this case, you can see it's just all cracked up. So I had 2 rebuild kits on it, and this is a different. It looks like from a different company, as far as I know. I had gotten some in bulk before to fit this engine, because not only on this, on the PE-200, I have another Echo over there that had the exact same engine, needed the exact same fuel lines in grommet size. That's the main thing. See, this one has a large grommet, but then it also has a smaller grommet here. You can adapt it over. So and that's what we need. But the last time I bought them in bulk, man, these fuel lines, I mean, they were cracking within 6 months. You know, it seems like I was having to replace them, you know, twice a year. It was really a pain in the butt. And so I'm going to try this one out. And I'll put one of these on this one, and I'll put another one on my own Echo so I can give it a good long-term trial. But yeah, it kind of pissed me off because I have a customer that has the same one, and just recently I went in and fixed it to him for free because I know that I put crap parts on for him, and I wasn't too happy about that. Let's go ahead and clean this sucker up while we're going to have it apart anyway. Inside, it doesn't look that bad. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this side back together, and then I'll look at the diaphragm on the bottom. But let's get a bulb ready. Well, it's supposed to have some bulbs. Came with 2 filters, 2 sets of fuel lines, 2 spark plugs, and 2 extra grommets, but no bulbs. That's kind of a shitty package. But luckily I have my own Alright, let's see what the diaphragm looks like. That gasket's stuck on there. I was going to leave it there because it looks to be in good shape. Yeah. Let's see what the diaphragm looks like. Internally, it actually looks good. And the diaphragm looks good. Usually if it's stiff, then you need to replace it. But this one's flexing like it should, so it's good. And you can see the needle valve's moving correctly. It's not stuck or anything. Alright, well I hope that does it. We will find out, right? So let's move over to the fuel lines. So here's the smaller grommet that we need. So I'm just going to pull these out and try to insert them in here. It can be kind of a pain, especially like this one is a fairly big tube. But once we get it on there, and I usually use a little WD-40 so these will slide on pretty easy. Otherwise, you can see it's real tacky, and it'll be very hard to insert into the grommet. All right. So I'll put a little coat of WD-40 on it. See if we can't. There's that one. There's that one. There we go. Now the fun part. So it's going to go in, here's the top, here's the bottom. So just remember, this is your little air filter, it always sticks up at the top. Okay. See, it's much easier. If you didn't have WD-40 on that, man, it would be a pain. So when we insert this in, we know this side is on the carburetor was the input, which this is it. So I'm going to put it accordingly so everything will line up. You won't be twisted around. There we go. And here's the return. Oh. This one might be a little tougher because it is a little larger tube. There we go. Come on. Boom. And that should do it. And then with this one, I usually trim it off, the return, so it'll be closer to the top of the tank. But we'll do that in a second. I want to make sure all this is lined up properly. That in there, that in there. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, so now I'll save that big grommet. That'll come in handy later. Let me trim this off. Oh, I usually trim that one too. Forgot about that. Alright, so both of those are trimmed off. This one you can always adjust them after we get it on there. There's still a light coat of WD-40, so hopefully this will pop right in. I don't think there was any gas at all in this. No, it was bone dry. Good. And clean inside. That's good too. That goes in there, and this is going to be a tight squeeze. So I usually get a screwdriver, and once you start pressing it in, and just go all the way around. Just be careful and be sure not to poke any holes in the grommet. See what I'm doing? I'm going to put another dash of WD-40 on it. there. And there we go. So I'm going to twist this around so that these will line up. There we go. Oh, this one is missing a screw. There are 2 screws that hold the gas tank on, one on each side, and this one is missing. So I'll see if I can find one before I'm done. I'm going to pull that out a little bit. I want to tuck it up in there. There we go. That's perfect. And when we line up the carburetor, I'll make sure these will go on. There we go. Easy peasy, huh? You can see what I'm doing there. So you have to push the wire in. Come up with it a little bit. Then line it up with your slot and the mount. There we go. Just like that. Alright, I need to find some gas. We'll put some gas in it and see if it'll crank. Alright, I put about a half tank of gas in there. I gotta remember to find the other bolt for this side. But anyway, looks like the bulb is working like it should. See if I can crank this thing and get it started. I have to pull left-handed. My right shoulder is shot. So let's see. I think that is on. Choke is on. Well, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper. Let's check for spark. Oof. That looks pretty bad. What the hell is in there? Let's clean that nasty thing off. Well, I've got some new plugs over here. Alright, I'm going to put it back on the floor here on the ground so I can get some leverage. We can do it down here. Okay, that's on. Choke is on. Let's pump that a few more times. Nothing. I'm going to take the plug back off and put some gasoline directly in there, because it looked like that spark plug was wet, but it doesn't smell like gas. I don't know what was in there. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, see, that's... Is that gas? Alright. Squeeze a little gas in there. Probably too much. Alright, let's go back down here. Gimme. Gimme. Gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme. Alright. Let me have it. Alright. Alright, you ready? Okay, had to take a break there, but let's get back to it. Let's see. Got gas in there. That's on. Choke is on. Okay, it's going to try. Let's see if we can get it. Alright, so it's running pretty good. Started easier than I thought. It was kind of hard to start at first, but I think it was all flooded and whatever was in the cylinder. I guess during the little break I took, maybe it drained out, or who knows, but it's starting pretty easy now. That's good. Just needs a little cleanup, and probably check the blade there. Yeah, it's still good and sharp. Probably just a little cleanup and be ready to go. Alright, I think that got it. I took a little break there, came back, and it must have been flooded, or whatever was in the cylinder there. Maybe there was some water in there, and it finally drained out. Yeah, come to think of it. You can see this is where it was draining, and you can see where the water's still puddled. So I think it was just some water in the cylinder. It must have been in the tank and all that stuff, but the tank was pretty dry, so I guess the cylinder was pretty sealed. But after I messed around with it and poured some gas in it and it fired off a couple of times, it was still kind of hard to start, and I took a little break, came back, tried it again, and it's cranking right up. So I guess we got all the water out of the cylinder and the muffler, but that's it. So, you know, it's not a hard fix, you know, just putting in new fuel lines and the bulb, and I just need to find a screw. There's only one screw, one bolt holding on the gas tank. I mean, it's not going to fall in or anything, but it jiggles around, so I'll just be replacing that. Well, that's it for this Tuesday. You know, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch my next video. What do you want? You want to play some more? All right. You ready? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.